So there are two gentlemen. The name of one person is Ramesh, and then the name of other person is Suresh. So Suresh and Ramesh, both of them are IT employees, very closely living to Kodapur. But unfortunately, during COVID, what happened was they both lost their jobs. So knowing nothing other than coding, that's why it's very important to know about sustainable, I would say, entrepreneurship today. They had nothing to do, or they know nothing to do. So they went back to their village. So they go back to the old way of providing for their family. What is it? Early morning they wake up, go to the nearby forest, chop some wood, bring that to the market, sell it off, and then they make a living. Are you here with me? A software engineer is doing this, okay? Story. Interestingly, both of them leave the village at the same time. They come back to the market at the same time. But Suresh brings always 3x the folds of what Ramesh brings. If Ramesh brings 2, probably the logs of wood, Suresh brings 6. If Ramesh brings 3, Suresh brings 9. Amazed at this, Ramesh always wanted, what was that secret behind Suresh? What is it that Suresh was doing different, right? That he always brings a 3x results. And in this era of productivity efficiency, all the consultants, probably some of you working here, also very keen to understand what's the secret behind this 3x efficiency. So one morning, Ramesh lied to Suresh that, hey, you know what, I'm not really feeling well. You carry on to the forest. Let me stay back and rest for a while. And as Suresh moves out of the forest, Ramesh slowly sneaks behind him, right? Like the Tom and Jerry, trying to understand what is it that Suresh is doing differently that he produces 3x results of Ramesh. And then what amazes Ramesh is that Suresh doesn't start cutting the trees as soon as he goes. You know where he goes? He goes to a lake nearby, finds a nice stone, takes all his axes, and what does he do? He sharpens them. He sharpens them until the noon. And then what happens? When Ramesh takes probably 3 strokes to fell a tree, Suresh does it at 1 stroke. Now, why that story? Because probably the talks like this, the conversations like this, the learnings from probably the doers who have done in the past, are those moments of you sharpening your irons. Do you agree with me? Are you sharpening your irons? Are you sharpening your axe? Yeah? Shall we move on? Fantastic. So with this is Rajeev YSR standing here, and the topic given to me was quite a complicated one. Youth in sustainable entrepreneurship developing local art using AI. Oh my goodness. So youth in sustainable entrepreneurship developing local art and using AI. Now youth is a very, very abused word, just like love, right? Everybody from 6 to 60 wants to call themselves as youth. Yeah? But interestingly, youth is definitely an unstoppable force. And let us look at some statistics, what this force has got into. If you look at the total world population, the world population is roughly around 8 billion people. And India's population is close to 1.5 billion. Now, what does that mean? That is, among every 5 human beings that are living on the earth, one is Indian, that's correct. I have a slide for you also. Just hold on for a minute. Now, look at this. In the 8 billion population of the world, close to 22% is youth. However, in 1.5 billion population of the world, close to 0.5 billion is youth in India. What does that mean? If you look at the world demography, 2 youth, among 5, there is just 1 youth among 5 adults. But in India, you have 3 youth among 5 adults. Are you getting something? We already see a Ramesh Suresh kind of an analogy, don't we? Let's continue. So while the world grows old, interestingly, India grows young. That's a great advantage for us. Let's understand more. Look at this. These are the top 5 countries in the world with the highest economy. Yeah. And we are also there with around $3 trillion, right? But look at this. United States with almost 7x or 8x of our GDP, the median is around 40 years. We are 12 years younger. So that means youth is an unstoppable force. If at all India possesses any probably minerals, riches, etc., apart from all the great wealth that we have, the greatest wealth that we all carry is youth and talented youth. Are you here with me? Yes. Yes? Let's continue. So now, let's look at sustainable entrepreneurship. Now, tell me one thing. What is entrepreneurship? I know TEDx talk is always about monotalk, but I just wanted to change the format and try to bring it more in dialogue. What is entrepreneurship? Or let me ask you another question. How many of you here are entrepreneurs? So here is a revelation for you. An entrepreneur basically means undertaker. Somebody who takes a responsibility and then says, hey, I am the undertaker of it. Right? Now, what does it mean? It means this. If you think that you are not an entrepreneur, my friend, but then the evolution of mankind talks about all of us as entrepreneurs. For example, in the beginning, when we do not have something called currency, how were we exchanging the services? So farmer produces, then miners mine, priests pray, artisans like, Miss Santa Clara, we have just seen, they make nice batik and kalamkari designs. What do all they mean? They all are entrepreneurs. That means our evolution basically is an entrepreneurial evolution. So now this talk is only to kind of touch that entrepreneur in you and then say, hey, you know what? Wake up and then try something. Are you excited? Yes. Are you ready to wake up? Yes. Okay, let's continue. So, youth we have seen. Entrepreneur, we have kind of agreed that we all have that spirit in us. But let's also understand the impact of these entrepreneurs. What's the impact? Can anybody help me with these numbers? Startups officially recognized in India, jobs created so far, number of unicorns in the last 12 months. Here are the answers, right? More than 1 lakh startups recognized. That means those are certified either under DPIIT or MSME or some kind of a startup program. Otherwise, there are many startups in 1 BHKs, 2 BHKs still trying to make an attempt. Are you here with me? Yeah? We have created, or startups have created close to 10 lakh jobs so far, and then they doubled from 1.75 lakhs to 3.35 lakhs and more than 100 plus unicorns. It used to be only 8 unicorns 3-4 years ago, but now we talk about 115 plus unicorns, right? And look at this, probably 1.3 billion people that we talk about. The working population between the age of 15 to 64 is only 0.78 billion. And among the 0.78 billion, the employed are 0.5 billion. And among the 0.5 billion, the organized, that means the government sector, the private sector, the organized is basically recognized by the PF account that they carry. Is only 0.3 billion. And then the unorganized is 0.45 billion. So who is providing for the rest? It is all these startups. Are you here with me? Let's continue. So this is again from 2007 to 17, and from 2017 to 2021, different startups in different fields, fintech, right, pharmacy. Then you have e-commerce, you have deliveries, then you have multiple probably edtechs and different kinds of technologies where startups are mushrooming and they're growing. What does it all mean for us? It means that we are already competing with one of the world's leading probably economy called US, where they have 700 plus probably startups and unicorns, and we already have 115 plus. Now, are you clear with youth? Yes. Are you clear with entrepreneurship? Yes. But then the question is, why entrepreneurship now? Right? What does this mean? Or what does this reflect? Come on. You're born and you're gone. Right? Yes? Okay. How many of you chose your parents? Oh, nobody here. Okay. How many of you chose this school, World 1 school? I want to join in World 1 school. Brilliant. That's nice. But unfortunately, not many get such an opportunity. Right? I didn't get an opportunity to choose my school. Okay. How many of you probably could choose your college? Maybe yes. Oh, you want to choose? Very nice. Among the parents there, how many of you did choose your partners? Oh, that's a very daring question, and yeah, there are daring people to answer it. Great. But unfortunately, not everybody gets an opportunity too. right? So in life, we generally don't have much options. Probably one option that we might at least take into our hands is career that we have, that stays with us much longer than our kids that stay with us or our partner that stays with us, correct? So when we have that, why don't we consider an entrepreneurial career as an opportunity? So what's special now in this era? The speciality about this era is this, right? The AI, or there are certain interesting facts that we were talking about. Earlier, we were thinking that somebody needs to start, if somebody were to work and start earning, it would be probably the age of 21, right? Anybody who does a physical labor and starts earning used to be called as child labor, correct? But man, you have teen entrepreneurs these days who have been working from the age of 13 to 14 and earning. How do you call them? And what enabled them? Definitely the development in the technology, be it the artificial intelligence or the rest of the things. Why? Because AI made the information and knowledge accessible to everybody. Now it is about how one leverages information and knowledge and bring forth a change, a new economic order. The GDP contributors have come down before 20, and digital platforms, some of them, right, have already started to act as enablers. And then the interesting thing is, the AI is no longer an additional tool. It has become a cognitive partner. It has become our sixth finger, and it has become a second brain, right? And AI continues to work upon our data even when we sleep. That's both scary and that's also encouraging. For example, I do multiple roles. For example, I'm the CEO of a company called ThunderPlus. I'm also advisor to the government of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. I'm also part of policy drafting committee with Niti Ayog and Department of Heavy Industries in the center. So what I generally do is I train my model with all the activities that I do. And I say that, hey, now you are the Rajeev who is the CEO of ThunderPlus, and you notice that your team is not really performing well. Draft a very soft, subtle, but yet very strong WhatsApp message where you encourage them to give an extra bit. And you know what? The AI exactly mimics and copies the tone, the language, the modality that I use, and gives a very short snippet. Are you hearing me? Or otherwise, earlier I used to sit, think, write, rewrite. So basically what AI enabled us to do is to focus on higher order thinking than to deal with mundane decision making and thinking. Do you agree with me? We are called to do higher things, right? We are called to perform higher things. So the 5-step success formula to be a successful entrepreneur. No book talks about it. The entrepreneur's lessons are generally not captured by the academia, unfortunately. Those life lessons are only captured in the autobiographies. Right? And these palms as a module was built by me over my years of experience working with startups, working in startups, building startups, working with MNCs. And I also teach the same subject at ISB as a visiting faculty. And at MIT, I didn't do a certification program. It's an executive program in business management. I went there and I studied for a year. Right? Even there, my major was entrepreneurship. So, distilling all of that, and if I were to tell the younger generation on how they can easily and quickly start up with less chances of failure, this is the formula. Are you excited? Now, so it's PAR. P stands for proud, A stands for articulation, L stands for looking out for solutions, M stands for multiplying, and S stands for scaling with T. You know what is proud? When do you use this word called proud? Okay, the right context of using that word called proud is a lion roars for its prey. A dog sniffs for its prey. There is a difference between a dog sniffing and a lion roaring. Because the lion knows that it needs to hit the target. The search and then the ask is intense and intentional. Are you here with me? So look for opportunities that you can add value to any customer or any person or any people or any demography around you. Is there any way there is some problem that is being met, and can I build a solution for it? Look for the problems or solve for the problems. The second one is articulate. Now, once you kind of identify the problem, but that's not where the fun is. The actual fun is when you are able to distill that problem, make it as simple as possible, and you are able to articulate. A right problem statement defined is 50% done, right? That's what we say. When I was preparing for ITJE, that time it was 6 hours exam. We had a mains, we had a prelims of 3 hours and mains of 6 hours. Our teachers always used to focus on one particular thing. Spend at least 2 to 3 minutes reading the problem rightly. And structure the problem. Distill the problem. Simplify the problem so that your answer is simplified. And that is even much applied for entrepreneurial journey also. Articulate the problem. Your problem cannot be very vague or specific. Again, another framework for you to help identify the problem is this. Who is your customer? What is the problem? Why do you think that's a problem? Where is the problem? When is the problem active? And how do you intend to solve the problem? So this is very important thing, right? The temptation for an entrepreneur is to invent something new. You are not a scientist. If you were here to invent something new, you are called a scientist, not an entrepreneur. Nothing wrong against scientists, right? But the context is, how do you build companies? How do you build profiles? How do you build startups? That's when you look out for solutions. You don't have to reinvent the wheel again and again and again. If that was so, we would be only going in wheel cars. We don't have sophisticated cars that we talk about right now. Look out for solutions. Discover them. Improve them. Experiment with them. See if those solutions can be slightly modified, mimicked, altered to meet your problem statement. And the most successful solution will always be the one which would be simpler to execute and easy to scale. Are you here with me? Don't be helpless, right? Again, the temptation of an entrepreneur is to do everything by yourself. Of course, when you start, you will have to put multiple hats, but the way you exhaust yourself, you need to bring in the right people much better than you in those specific domains. Are you here with me? Multiply them, leverage network, right? Multiply through synergy and team. And last and most important thing is scale. Again, most people look for perfection and take pride in calling themselves as perfectionists. No offense to that. But you can never ever achieve 100% perfection. This is for sure. All of you know Pareto principle, right? 80% of your results are dependent on 20% of your things. Just focus on those 20%. Arrive at 80%, that's okay. All the successful startups that we speak right now have on an average 17 pivots, 17 pivots. Pivots means they would have started to do something and then there is a change, there is a change, and before they became a unicorn, there were 17 times they course corrected. Nothing wrong in it. Look, and aren't these bigger brands? These are at one time the king or the leaders in their domains, right? If they can be replaced, if they can be replaceable and become redundant and obsolete, how much more you and I could be? And what beat them all? It's innovation. The entrepreneurial journey is definitely like the boulder, right? Either you transform it or it transforms you. But be prepared for either of those things. Both of those things makes us a better person. So with this is Rajeev YSR, your coach, your mentor, your friend, signing off for today.